one of the Democrats who voted yes last night. Senator Shaheen of New Hampshire joins us now. Senator, good morning. Thank you for being with us. Let's just start with asking you to explain your vote. Why did you feel like this was the moment to cast your ballot to reopen the government?
Well, I think the shutdown has really, as Joe said so well, crystallized for Americans the fight around health care and who's for making sure that people can afford their health insurance and who is not, who's willing to let them pay higher costs. It gives us the opportunity to have a vote on a bill that we will write by mid-December, and Americans will have another chance to see who's on their side and who's not. I hope that our Republican colleagues understand now that this is an issue that affects millions of Americans, and we need to address it. But unfortunately, we've got, after 40 days, we've got, as you pointed out, air traffic control that's a mess. We've got government workers who are not getting paid. We've got people who can't get food. We've got mothers and children who can't get their WIC benefits. And so we need to end that suffering and continue to fight about health care. And what this agreement will allow us to do is to continue to fund food benefits, continue to fund WIC, continue to fund veterans benefits, and force Speaker Johnson to come back in with the House and actually do the work of this country that he has been AWOL on since the beginning of September.
Senator, Democrats probably had their best week in over a year and a half. It has been a bleak year and a half for the Democratic Party, starting with that debate back in June. I'm curious, are Democrats going to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder, even though obviously you disagree with Bernie Sanders, and there are other progressives who disagree with the vote that many people took, that Angus King and others took last night. But at the end of the day, will Democrats stand shoulder to shoulder and get ready for that next battle in January?
I believe Democrats will stand shoulder to shoulder because we understand how important it is for the American people to have affordable health care prices. And, you know, it's not just blue states that are affected. Red states are affected, too. And so members of Congress who say they're not willing to vote on these premium tax credits need to be paying attention to their constituents. I think we can get a bipartisan bill out of the Senate that will address this issue. And if not, we know that the voters are going to know who's on their side and who's going to hold them accountable.
Senator, it's Ali Vitale. I know you were one of the consistent leaders throughout the last 4+ weeks on bipartisan negotiations. Ultimately, I wonder if you can talk to me about what Leader Schumer's message was to you and your colleagues when you came to him with this original plan, and if he blessed the deal that you ultimately made, given the fact that he did vote against it.
Well, we kept Senator Schumer informed throughout bipartisan discussions that have really gone on since the beginning of the shutdown. And he's been clear about his position. But I think, again, what's important is that this gives us an opportunity to vote on the floor of the Senate by mid-December on a bill that we will write that will address the cost of health insurance for Americans and extend those premium tax credits. And hopefully our Republican colleagues will work with us on that. I introduced that legislation back in 2019, introduced it again during COVID, again in the Inflation Reduction Act, and again, that was the first piece of legislation I introduced this year. I am 100% behind ensuring that people can afford their health care, and I'm going to keep fighting to make sure that happens.
All right, ranking member of the Foreign Relations Committee, Democratic Senator Shaheen of New Hampshire, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.